Hello and welcome to today's journal. So we're going to have a flip through of this small journal. I'll show you how, talk you through how it was made. And we come to pages like this and I'm going to show you how I create these. And so we've got some examples here and we'll go through some of the different ways in which you can then not only make it but then use them. Yeah? So let's get on with this journal flip and I hope that you enjoy. So it's made from a variety of papers that have been dyed. So let's just come in a bit closer and you can see it in all its deliciousness. So we've got some fabric and we've got paper that have all been dyed. We've got some backing fabric. These are upholstery fabric which I've used. And then, you know, obviously there's some brads and things that I had, that I've had over the years but never used them, or just acquired them, like got a bag of beads and these little angel things and things like this were in it. Then we've got some brads, some words, buttons, and I'm sure you've got a lot of things that you've amassed over the years but have never used them, because you know you don't have multiple, or you just haven't thought of the actual project that you want to put them on. So as I say, we've got bits of fabric here, some of it's fabric with embellishments, and I've just tried to use them as much as I can. But the thing that for me that makes this journal additionally special is these color panels, and they're really fun to make and they give you such a nice effect on your journal pages. And as I say, I'll go through them as well. So yeah, dyed fabric, dyed paper. I think I made this particular journal in Jack Ravi's class when we were both teachers on Fodder School 4, and he did a session with sigils and creating journals, and it was just a really lovely class, dyeing the fabric in and paper in bundles and getting a really nice effect. And then as I put this together, I then put some of my coloured panels and then went through and did some additional things on the page using digital images that I'd created or drawings that I had printed, and then used them, did some cutouts, yeah, and just had a lot of fun. Again, digital images, and there's still quite a few pages in here that haven't yet been worked on. So all of these were some of these were stamped beforehand and then folded up in and made the paper and made into the journal. And I really do like the effect of these. So this was actually done on, you can do it on a variety of different plastic surfaces. So you can find like recycled packaging that you may have for recycled plastic and use that. Let's go through the book and I'll tell you more. This is sellotape. So I've worked on the surface and then added the sellotape. Yeah, but there's, so as I say, still lots of pages. This journal hasn't yet been finished, but what I've done is take, as I say, images that I've created digitally and then brought them together. This one has been stitched. We've got some nice French knots for her bonnet and stitching. And it's just about finding things that I wanted to make this very kind of, because it was like vintage in kind of, you know, the feel, the colour, the faded-ish fabric, to allow the images, or some of the images, to reflect that. And again, I've used these pieces throughout on top of surfaces, and this was just bubble wrap that I painted, and this has been stitched, and it's just a nice kind of texture. And we've got a little pocket at the back here, and then when we fold it over, this is another strip that was dyed, and it's got upholstery fabric there on top, and then this actually is bubble wrap that has been heat flattened with alcohol inks, and then this just wraps around like this. So that's the journal. Yeah. So you're wondering to yourself, how else have you used it? So let me show you some other examples. So I've made mini cards. Yeah. And then we've got some tags here that I've made. And these are nice. And these are great to add to your journal. I've used them to add to the back of journals. So this had been painted, but I wasn't really feeling totally the way it looked. So adding this has just added another element to it. And then in the journal, we've got this page here. It could be a little pocket, and it's also got a little message. You can count the amount of seeds in an apple, but not the number of apples in a seed. And then that's just on there like that. And another way is to take a page that you have not yet decided what you want to do with it, or you might want to, let's come out a little bit, you might want to use the page as a writing spot, but not to be exposed. Like, you know, you don't want I mean, if somebody is holding your journal and they come to the page, they might lift it up. But you might just want, you know, to have that extra bit of privacy here, or just a different look. It gives you a different look, and then you can write whatever it is. So we're going to do one of these pages, but I'll show you first how to make these. Okay, so as I say, you can make them from a variety of different plastics. We've got, you know, the film plastic that you get in packaging. That's what this is. And that's been covered with alcohol inks. So you'll need the plastic and you'll need the alcohol inks. And then this was just a case. So it was, I've got one here. So it's just a plastic case, and I cut one up, and I wanted to see if the what kind of effect I would get. The only thing with this is because it's kind of like, it's slightly opaque, you wouldn't see as much as you would from just the plastic film. And then you have the plastic, this is a thicker plastic, but it's those overhead projecting films, so you can use one of those, and once the colours blend together they look really gorgeous, and then you'll cut this up and use it. And then the other thing that I've used to create them is the laminating pouches. Now these are really good. So you got the laminating pouch. You add your alcohol inks in here, just fill it up. it dries pretty quickly, and that's fine. And then you push this through the laminating pouch. What you don't want to do is push it through while it's wet. There may be still parts of it that may be wet, and what that does then, it's kind of smushes some of the ink around. Or what you do with this is, when you're adding it on, you could smush it with your bone folder and then put it through. So do you want to have a play? Oh wait, let me show you some others that I've done with the pouches, because once I found that, and let me just move some of these out of the way. Once I found the laminating pouches, because we know that we can put like you know, certificates and things like that in there, and a whole host of things, but once I realised, I mean, they're still available. It's not something that is like going out of stock and you'll never find it again. And you may have these. I bought these when I was putting certificates in them. So I've got a lot of this paper certificates that you get. I have put them in there just to protect them. Or, you know, you do it in a frame. But there's, you know, just different ways in which you can use it. And I've got 2 different types of alcohol inks. Now, they do give slightly different results. So I'll show you the ones that gave these kind of more muted results. And these are, and I'll leave the link as well. These are from Brea Reese alcohol inks, and they give you a more muted effect. And the deeper ones, which you may prefer, you can mix them, are the Arondac by Tim Holtz Ranger and Ranger. So these ones give you a more vibrant result. So I think I would mix the 2, because I prefer, yeah, I think I prefer those ones. I mean, that's gorgeous. That would be really, really effective on different, like a, you know, a page that you want to kind of lift, or, I mean, you might just want to, you know, create some mystery, as I say. Yeah, so let us get started, and I'll put this card down just so that you can see the colour. And I've got my laminating pouch here. Now, you might have the pouch and not the machine, so you could still use it and then cut it out. But yeah, you get a nice effect if you push it through the machine. Okay, so let us work on this. Yeah, so we just open it up, and then it's just playing, really. You're just splattering. So let me see what I've got. We've got a rose pink rose, and that's pink rose. Yeah, pink rose. Okay, so we don't need that. It's a duplicate. Peach, olive green, and a sky. And then in the Arondac, this is Sunsplash Yellow. I've had these for quite a while, so they may have updated the names. Stream, Cranberry, and Raspberry. I mean, you could try it with other supplies, but try it like this first. So we just splash them down. What I noticed with the Brea Reese ones is they don't smoosh as readily as... Actually, well, let's do 2 different ones. I really like the green. I really like that. And let's just splash them down. Let me try smushing Ooh, yeah. And then I could bring try and get it all over the acetate. It looks like some wants to seep out, so I'm going to open it, and yeah. So I'm going to try a bit more of the green and see what happens in some of the areas. I like the way the green is coming out and then the red is being pushed back. Let's see what happens now. Okay. And just a bit more orange there. Orange. Did we try the blue? No, I don't think we did. Let's just put the orange down, the blue down. Doesn't want to open. Oh my. Gosh. Okay, it's like, nope, I don't want to go on. I can't open it. Ow. Okay, the green will get to go again. Let's put the green there in these big expanses of the red. And I'm going to let it dry, so I'm going to leave it open, and while it's drying I'm going to use the other Arandak on another one. Yeah? Okay, so that's what we got so far. When I put it together it's going to look different. So, oops. So we'll have a bit more defined shapes, because when you put it together everything kind of blends, but if it dries in that particular shape then we'll get a different effect. Okay, so let us try again with the Arandak. Okay, I do need to replenish these. I think let's try the lighter. Oh my gosh. See, I haven't used these for a while. But you have to be careful about storing them. So we'll just drop some drops all over there. Let's see which one wants to open. Oh my gosh. Girl. Goodness. Okay. So we'll drop this. Yeah, I'm running low on these. Okay, that opened nicely. I'm going to smush this and see. But it might have dried already. Oh, no. Okay. Ooh, look at this. Okay, let's just... You know what I could have done? I could have smushed it with the yellow first, and that would have spread the yellow a bit more. But I still like this. I like the vibrancy of the... it's either the cranberry or the raspberry. It's probably the raspberry here. Let's open it. You can open it and close it again. Or let's do some more yellow in spots and then let that dry. And then I'm going to go on the other side as well, where we've got quite a bit of the colour, and put the yellow, and you can see it kind of fanning out. But yeah, this is one of the ways in which, in terms of experimenting with your journals and supplies, and then adding adding these to your journals, and that's the way that you find out, you know, the kind of things that you like and what goes well together. Okay, I'll smooth this down, but when it goes through the laminator, it's all going to be stuck together. So I quite like that. I'm going to put my laminator on. Right, so the adapter for this that I have normally plugged in, that never leaves the space that it should be, has mysteriously vanished. I have had some people doing some work in here, but it's just like such a random thing to go missing. Anyway, so this is my laminator. The adapter I needed, anyway. So basically, this is just a small one, and so it heats up. You push the film through it, and it comes out the other end within minutes, and it looks like that. Yes? So we will work from the ones that I've already done, and I'm going to have to get some additional. But this is what they look like. So this is the one with the Brea Reese inks, alcohol inks. So as I say, it's slightly more muted in colour. It is quite bright on its own, but when you put it with in comparison, so that's the sides that you would then use. But it's such a effective way to make use of the laminating pouches if you don't have any certificates that you want to put in them. But the packet, it comes in a packet of 100, and I will leave the link so that you can check them out, or you know, go to your local, what is it, stationers. Okay, so let's look at, right, so we're going to look at prepping a page, and I thought I would use, this is the journal I'm using in July for my patrons, and we have a variety of different projects that I will be doing in them, similarly to May and June's journal, which I've done a flip through, but I have done some additional work, so I'll be doing another flip through when I get a chance. And so I thought, yeah, I would just take, this is a brown paper journal, and I'll probably just take like a page like this, and it's really easy to think about if further down the line, or when I, you know, start working through this journal. So I am just going to take a page, and I'm going to make it a page that I can do some journaling, yeah? So the brown paper is quite nice to work on, and, you know, even to doodle on and things like that. So I'm just going to do a border, and then think about which one I want to use. Maybe a paler one myself. Yeah, so I'm thinking maybe that one. Let's give you all the light. Yeah, so it doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to cover anything up. So I'll cut this down to size, and then it's just going to be attached with a brad so that it can be lifted up and ready. But all I'm going to do is take some alcohol markers and just do a border, and maybe do a little bit of doodling, yeah? So take in whatever colour you want. Sometimes I use black, but I thought I would use maybe just some colour. Okay, so got that there, and as I said, I just want to keep it simple because I want to, ooh, yeah, I think I will go for that one, like that, yeah, because I want to come back and, you know, really decorate it, and because it's going to be a journaling spot, maybe do some of the lines, and maybe have, I don't know, some other bits of like mediums, maybe flowers, because you can attach the flowers to this if you want, but yeah, or, you know, just on the side like that. Ooh, yeah, maybe we'll do that with a brad on the side. I don't need that, I don't want that, but it's a little tassel, and then we'll cut this down to size. So let me get my brads. So these are kind of the self-perpetuating brads. I guess I don't use as many as I think I do, but I've had these for years and it never seems to go down. So let me think, a gold heart maybe. You've got hearts, you've got flowers, there we are, here's a gold heart, we've got gold, silver, and there's some colours there. Okay, so I've got this, it's going to go there. I'm just going to cut off a piece off the end, both ends, so I want that to go there. So I just need my what do you call it, awl. There we go, that just goes. It's helpful if they both go in there. There we go, and you fold it flat. Okay, so that's that, which is going to go on there. Let me just cut off, how much do I need to cut off the bottom? About this much. And then a bit off the side. Okay. I can cut off a little bit more if I want to off the end, but that's okay for now. Yeah, might need just a smidgen. Actually, let me do it properly. Yeah, because it's not straight. So we can straighten it up and cut it like so. That's better. And then I want just about the same off the end, about it's like a centimetre. Okay, let's get the book back and see what we've got. It's kind of perfect. Yeah? But it gives you just a nice look on the paper, and I can show you what it looks like there, like that. So it just gives it a nice little effect. So I'm going to put a hole through them both and get another small brad here. So I'm putting a hole there, yeah. And a small brad, we've got a little round one here. And oops. Then we open it out flat at the back. And what I would probably do on the back is put either some tape, or this will probably have, you know, some collage or whatever. So this will be covered, you wouldn't see it. And it wouldn't matter if you did anyway. But yeah, so that is the other way in which you can make use of these, what's the other one? Wonderful acetate sheets. And I think they look especially nice over figures. So this figure here was just like a black and white one, and it's the colour on the page that gives it that, come in, that gives it that look. Let's have a look. Come right in, yeah? There we go, look at that. Look at the effect. And that literally is, see, that's the underneath. Some of the no, I don't think, I think I'd covered that with alcohol ink, but it gives you a nice, I really do like the look, yeah? So there's that. So I hope you, so let's just move these out of the way and then I can speak. That's that. So I hope you give it a try. Dig out your alcohol inks. Yeah, so get your acetates or laminating pouches and see what wonderful examples you can create, especially if you've got additional colours. And I haven't been able to use a blue, so I'm going to clean these up so that I can open the blue. But yeah, I hope you have fun, and if you've got any questions, you know, don't hesitate to ask, and I'll leave the links for all of the supplies that are used. And oh, that's the other one on the back of a book. Yeah, so I'll leave all the links so that you can check them out. But check out what you have in your supplies, because I'm sure you probably got some alcohol inks in there, and you can find some plastic, so you can play before, you know, you decide, okay, yeah, I must get some laminating pouches. Anyway, so take care for now, and I'll look forward to seeing what you do.